Get your notes.
Get my notes. Well,
after I'm ready for the brew.
Ready for it, yeah. So, want to welcome everybody to the first installment of After Two Beers. My name is Joel McCloskey. I'm co-owner and CEO of Four Saints Brewing Company, and we're here with Rich Powell. What you want to call what your titles are?
My title is co-owner of this property.
Co-owner of the property?
Yeah.
All right, co-owner of this property that we're sitting on. You can see the beautiful Bob
Sun is
Ross
going down
behind us. Yeah. We had some technical difficulties getting this started because technology.
And now the neighbors are riding their
So you can hear
go-kart.
the neighbors have a go-kart out, which maybe it'll show up here on the video. We can do that.
Now that guy's, he's not even from the street.
Oh.
They're out on a long road trip.
Should we we need to run them off, like, get off my lawn, kind of thing, or
get lost.
we the whole premise behind After Two Beers is exactly this. Rich and I have been hanging out and just chit-chatting, and you watched me argue with some technology for a little bit. Had two beers.
We had a Day of Domination.
Yeah, Day of Domination and the Upper Road.
Yeah. Two excellent beers.
Yeah, and Rich actually is he's done a number of labels for us. You asked for it, Black and Blue, Berliner Punch,
All the yoga pants,
all the yoga pants, and he's done one for the Day of Domination, which will be coming out here soon. And we're actually
this
on
was
camera.
my very first label ever.
It is, yeah. Exile on Worth, which is a Brett IPA. But if you want to,
So open it?
Yeah. Wow, let's open
How
it.
old is this beer?
2 years.
Where's it been sitting? Under your bed?
In a safe place. Well cared for. Stories read to it every night. So it's a Brett IPA. So the Brett should have aged well. Look at that. It's like he's a professional
Drinker. Boy, these glasses are too big.
Tell me about these glasses. Like they're really not. I mean,
these glasses came from Germany in the 1950s.
Germany in the 1950s.
My old neighbor back in California was an old mechanic dude, lived at the end of my driveway. Bob Diffie. And one day he said, "Hey, I got some beer glasses you'd like." And he got these when he was in the army in Germany. I got 3 of them.
Huh.
I love them. I don't know what they say, but they're cool. Mine's got a drunk guy on it.
Mine looks like a drunk guy talking to a traffic cop.
Mine says, "Der Mensch braucht ein Dab net Fault." A mensch is a good guy, right?
This is a Bitchon Nouvelle Promille Happy.
Isn't like Bitteschön, doesn't that mean good day or something like that?
I don't know. I don't speak German. I don't think it does. But do we know anybody who speaks German?
Oliver, for one.
Ask Oliver.
I haven't seen him in a long time. Cheers.
Cheers. So, at this point, we shouldn't be socially distanced. We've touched glasses.
I haven't tasted that in a long time. That's so different than, that's really different than those other IPAs we've been having lately.
It's from the Brettanomyces. It's a yeast, like a funky kind of yeast.
Yeah, it's got
like Andrew's going to listen to this and he's like, "That is terribly wrong." Because that's anytime I talk about the brewing sciences, he just cringes. He just kind of, I can see it, and rightfully so. I mean,
it does have a kind of a, instead of that clean, bitter, piney taste that you get from an IPA, it's just a little funkier.
A little funky.
But a good funky.
It's a good funky. How about the
maybe it's just because it's that old.
Or maybe it's because we're.
What is the number 7 on there for? What's that? 0007.
Where?
On the side. Turn around.
Oh, so that was the 7th barrel-aged beer that we packaged.
So this is barrel aged as well. I didn't know that.
So can you tell us a little bit about where you got what inspiration you had for this label?
Sun Records.
Yeah.
Sun Records, because it was Exile on Main Street is the famous Rolling Stone record.
Right.
So I just went for the first. And I had just gotten back from Memphis. We had cartoonist convention.
Right.
Yep. And I went to Sun Records studio. It was really cool.
Yeah. Did you buy anything in the gift shop?
I don't think I did.
Did you steal anything
It was
from the
big,
gift shop?
man, it was a big expense just to go there. I was happy to just be in that space. It was really cool. A lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. But you know what? It's really a little too much like a Sun Records label. So it's almost like that one guy is a little too much like the Hawaiian Punch guy. But that was intentional. I was kind of intimidated to do a beer label.
Why's that? I mean,
I've
you've
never
done so
done
many
one.
different things.
I'd never done one. I thought I wanted it to be good, but I didn't know. Didn't know.
So looking back at it now,
I like it still. It makes a good T-shirt too.
it does.
Good T-shirt.
I got that.
Really, those rays coming off of there—that's the Sun Records thing. And then what did we do? We made the track listing.
The ingredients.
The ingredients. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times.
So Rich is when you introduce yourself, do you introduce yourself as an illustrator, as an artist, how do you?
I just say cartoonist at this point.
Cartoonist. Why do you choose cartoonist?
It's just easier. Because I draw a cartoon once a week.
I know that. Yes. So cartoons. You have the you have the wide open.
Wide Open is the only cartoon I do. Well, no, I do a corporate cartoon now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do I do a lot of it. Yeah, it's called Charlie Sisso.
Charlie Sisso.
Chief Internet Security Officer.
That's right.
I do it with a guy, Dr. Edward Amoroso, who was the second guy in the country to have that title, Sisso.
Really?
Yeah, he's a real genius in cybersecurity, and he lives up in New Jersey. Called me one day and said, "You want to do some cartoons with me for my LinkedIn stuff?"
Yeah. So does he send you
He writes
the jokes?
Yeah, they're pretty esoteric. I mean, not all of them, but some of them I don't get at all. But they're usually a 3-panel thing, and it's about this guy with a boss. It's almost like a Dilbert thing, but all about internet security, and it people use it to help educate their employees and stuff.
About what they should
I feel like I'm being interviewed now.
What?
It's not like we're just sitting here having a beer.
This is exactly what I'd be doing to you in the tap room. I'm intrigued by this.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You're asking.
I'm totally intrigued by this because how do you illustrate a joke that you don't get?
Oh, it's easy. He says, panel 1, this is happening. Panel 2, this is happening. Panel 3, I mean, yeah, he's got it all figured out. Yeah.
You just put your arts. I don't want to say just because you.
Yeah,
I can't.
I try to make if I don't get the joke, and I think maybe it's not that funny, I try to make it funny with the visuals. Yeah. And then he also approaches corporations, like we did a bunch for Estee Lauder, and we'll do like little cartoons for their newsletter in a whole different style, not with Charlie Sisso, just for Estee Lauder, teaching people like don't click on this. It's very simple ideas, but
for like the employees and stuff.
Yeah.
Not like a makeup cartoon.
No, all about like about like don't let our secrets out and don't get us what do you call hacked. Yeah, don't get hacked.
That's a pretty good. I mean, that's
because people do stupid things. You'd be surprised. Like I had a friend on Facebook today that I've been friends with for years. All of a sudden, I got a new friend request. You're like, oh, that guy got hacked.
He got hacked.
Don't know what he did. What do you do? I don't know how you get
hacked.
You do something stupid.
You should ask Charlie Sisso.
I think you do. Yeah, Ed would know. Ed would know, but Ed is dealing with. He's up in in Jersey, so they're dealing with this stuff bad.
Yeah.
He lives in the Andover, which is where they just found that, the old folks home where they were stacking the people in the
Oh,
fridge.
jeez. I didn't know about that.
It's on the news yesterday.
Oh.
I guess they didn't want the people that were coming in to know that there was COVID virus there, so they were just putting the dead people in their fridge. And maybe letting more people in? I don't know.
Huh?
Sorry. That's a downer. Sorry.
No. Where do we go from there? Like, we can't just. How do you.
That's where he lives. So I talked to him today.
Yeah.
His one of his good friends growing up is very sick right now. So yeah. We're lucky down here.
Yes.
I'm sure people know people that are sick, but we're pretty lucky.
I like this area here. This reminds me a lot of where I grew up.
Yeah, me too. I lived in a neighborhood just like this growing up, Jersey.
I was in Pennsylvania. We didn't know each other.
Pretty close by.
I remember we had woods like this, and we'd get home from school. And everybody would come to our house, and then we would faction up, and then we would play war.
Oh, your house was the hub, huh?
We were the hub.
That's cool.
We were hub. We'd play war in the woods. We had a creek out back behind the house that we built 2 dams in, and then we got yelled at by the property owner. She was like, "You can't be doing that. It's gonna be backing on." And we were just like, "There's a tire over there. I think we're okay putting some rocks in." Then we built a tree house.
You built the treehouse. Your dad didn't build it.
Well, good question. My dad built the first floor, right? So he built the floor and then the sides. And he said, I'm done. Like, you have your tree house. And then over the next 3 summers, we made it a tree house that had 3 floors.
Awesome.
So there was a tree out, the main floor, and then we built another floor, and then we built another floor. So it was also the only tree house we knew of that ever had a basement.
That's where you put the kid nobody liked. It was just like
well, underneath the second floor, we actually had that chicken wired in, and that's where we put those kids.
That's where the prisoners from the war games would go. Into the basement of the treehouse with the basement. That's funny.
That's where we had little bags, and we'd like put snacks in there.
That's the best kind of treehouse that the kids built. Back then, it seemed like there was packs of kids running through the neighborhoods. That's great.
Did you have a treehouse? Or any, like a clubhouse or anything?
No, I didn't have a treehouse. No, we just we played a lot of army stuff. I only had like a few kids living nearby, but occasionally I'd go to Faison Lakes, and that's where all the kids were.
Faison Lakes.
Faison.
Okay.
It was just the next town over, and my brother's girlfriend's family lived there, and she had a brother that was about my age, and we'd play, and they would play this game of war that was kind of rough. The bigger kids would be after the little kids, and if they caught you, you'd like get hung from a telephone pole by your underwear. You'd be hung from that first hook that they used to climb up the telephone poles.
The one that if you could jump up and grab, you're like, oh, okay.
I'm going all the way up. Yeah.
I can pull myself all the way
up.
up.
Yeah, it was actually kind of frightening. The first time I went down there and played that game, I was like, I'm going to die. These guys are going to kill us.
How much older were they? When you say older, like?
Well, they were a few grades older than us.
Gotcha. And how did they convince you to be like, hey, why don't you come play war with us? We're going to chase you, and we're going to scare you to the point that once we get you, we're going to do this to you. And you're like, okay, sign me up.
It's the rules of the game. It's the rules of the game. It's what life is going to be like. So
it's like, I got to get my licks so I can do it later.
Yeah.
Well,
70s.
We used to have we had a group of kids that in our neighborhood we would ride bikes up and down the road just nonstop. We'd play 6-man baseball.
What is okay.
You'd have your in the field. You'd have your pitcher, an infielder, and an outfielder.
An outfielder.
That was it. If it went, if it,
It's kind of like wiffle ball.
yeah, I guess yeah. But we played hardball and wood bats,
Oh my God.
and so outfielder would play basically center and left. If you hit it in the right, it was just a foul. Whenever we got to play,
That's why The Sandlot is your favorite movie.
it's not my favorite, but it is a great one.
It's up there.
It's up there. It's a good one. But yeah, whenever we got a chance to play 8-man ball, like that was. I mean, we'd have parades.
We never played anything that organized. We would play running bases. Running base is pickle.
Still,
You have 2 bases.
Okay.
And you have a tennis ball.
Uh-huh.
And if you throw the tennis ball back and forth with 2 guys at the base, and you have people that try to steal that base.
Like
So
rundown. Rundown?
Who knows? They had so many different names. Like we played kill the
okay.
guy with the ball.
Oh.
Kill the guy with the ball. And out in California, it was called smear the queer.
Yep. Yeah.
But it was, with a football, whoever has the football tries to stay running until they tackle it. But running bases was pretty fun because you would run as fast as you could to the other base, and the guy would peg you. He could either tag you or he'd peg you with the tennis ball.
Right.
And you get hit. And one of the guys that I hung out with, Eric Hansen, he became a pitcher for the Mariners. And when he pegged you with that tennis ball, it left a welt. Yeah, it hurt.
Jeez.
He'd be like this. You'd be like on the ground going, no. What?
It's amazing how kids, they don't understand the idea of mercy. It's like I can do this.
Yeah, you got the power. Man, you went through that beer fast.
Yeah, I kind of did.
You gotta get the scotch. Because you're frustrated.
I was.
Microphone
I was.
experience.
Hopefully at this point it's working. Because I mean it's on. I mean we're going.
We have 1 microphone instead of 2.
I've got a second one over there, but we'll leave it at that. So
you know what we should have done today?
tell me.
We should have called and had Andrew deliver us a beer. Because today's the first day, right?
Today was the first day of delivery. And he came in, and he and Amy went out and did it together.
Oh, they're not doing it in the evening?
We cut deliveries off at a certain point. And so just on Saturday. So it's not like go out and then come back and get some more and go out. It's like, we're going to try this one time. So they went out and delivered beer around. And I got a couple messages from people who ordered and were happy because their beer showed up. And apparently Amy wanted to make a grand entrance once she got to a property, and Andrew was like, nope. So I told her that
if they knock on the door.
Well, apparently she wanted to like honk and like yell and like make a like, "Way, we're here," kind of thing, and I mean, if you know
see
Andrew,
her doing that, yes.
You can see how Andrew would not want to do that. Yeah,
that's why I was surprised that you had him delivering the beer.
He offered.
Okay.
He offered. And he's a great one to do it, the first one, because he's got that attention to detail.
Yeah, he'll get it there.
It'll be like, this worked well, this sucked. And be
He'll
like,
analyze it.
Right, okay, we need to fix that. And then, but I told Amy that if I did deliveries, I'm thinking I might be doing it next weekend. Then I'm gonna get a little portable speaker, kind of like yours over there. Mm-hmm. And when I pull up to a house, I'm gonna play Beer Run, BEERUN, Beer Run, and just blast it. Which now I'm gonna have to do. But
I delivered pizzas for a long time.
For independent or for like Pizza Hut?
It was called Round Table Pizza in California. It was a chain.
High school?
No, they weren't delivering them then. I just worked in the pizza place, and after I got out of the service, I went back and they had during college.
Yeah.
And I ended up managing the delivery thing.
Yeah.
And all these rich kids had moved in when I was in the service, and they were like unmanageable, and they'd be like driving a Porsche.
Delivering pizza.
Delivering pizzas, yeah, spoiled brats.
So what was because I've never done anything delivery wise.
Oh man,
So
a lot of bad things happen.
Yeah.
I know that. I'd be delivering a pizza, and I'm like, I could take a slice out of that. They're not going to notice. And you rearrange the pieces. They didn't miss one. I learned how to play the harmonica delivering pizzas.
What?
I'd be like driving down playing my harmonica, listen to the blues.
Can you still play the harmonic?
Yeah, except it gets caught in my beard, so I don't.
You don't have
No,
any. You don't have any.
I mean, now that I'm
Yeah.
older and I know friends that are professional harmonica players, I don't even play.
You don't have pepperoni grease on your lips.
Yeah, that was the
Help
real
to
lubricant.
slide back and
the
forth.
lubricant. Boy, those harmonicas smell good after that.
It's like, it's
Can I borrow your
pepperoni night.
harmonica?
Your music sounded a little sadder tonight. Yeah, it was a sausage night tonight.
Play me an Italian song.
When the moon hit your.
Those were two strong beers we had.
Which one? That?
Now this one, what is the ABV on this one?
6.7. So
I can feel that one.
Day of Domination is 3.8.
That's more my speed. I like to drink a lot of them.
Yeah.
And not get too shit-faced. Are we allowed to swear?
At this point, yes.
But can't drink many of those.
Well, that's 7%. It'll catch up to you pretty quick.
Yeah.
But
It was good though. Is he ever gonna make that again?
sure. Being that it's barrel aged, I mean, we'd have to use the barrels that the saison is in. We have people that really like it. I'm sitting here thinking about it right now. Like, we drank that. I brought it over because your label and that may have been Kristen's beer. Yeah. So.
Thank you, Christian.
Kristen.
Well, I have a buddy. Pete's wife's name is Christian. Pete Poteet.
Oh yeah. So we may have just drank Kristen's beer.
Oh,
I think she'll hopefully.
She's got plenty of beer. Her husband owns a brewery.
Yeah, he does. He does.
There's so many
But he
beers
doesn't
that come
own
down the pipe.
a bunch of beers like that. She likes Brett beers.
Oh.
Yeah, but they'll be fine. I'll be the one that pays the price.
How do you get that picky where you like, I like Brett beers? I didn't even know what a Brett beer was until I had that one.
It's, she and I differ distinctly when it comes to that funky kind of flavor, right? So her and Andrew both, both of them kind of sit in the same boat. Like the funkier the cheese, like the gross, in my opinion, the grosser the cheese, the more they just about it. Now I took her out. We were in Pittsburgh and we went, took her around to a number of places, and went to a place and we got a charcuterie board, and there was a bunch of all great in-house smoked pork and all this other stuff. We got a bunch of cheeses. We didn't know what they were. We just picked them by name, and then this one came and it was just this glob.
Yeah,
just
soft cheese like a brie.
Yeah, like softer than that. Like it was like it just sit there.
I kind of like those though.
Ugh. And so I took a little bite of it, and I gagged. I gagged at the table.
Was it Limburger?
No, it wasn't Limburger. I know that name. I learned that from the Little Rascals.
From the Little Rascals. That's right.
I've never had it, but Little Rascals was like that stuff.
Might have choked Artie, but it ain't gonna choke me.
It's like, how do we get out of this? Find some Limburger. Just rub it somewhere.
Yeah.
That'll make it.
I like those cheeses though, but that's what that Brett thing is, that funkiness.
Yeah. She. I was like, I gagged, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "You got to try it." She's like, "You just almost gagged." I was like, "Yeah, but you got to try it."
She loved it.
She loved it. And same with Andrew. We were at a beer festival, and he was like, "Hey, you got to go try that cheese." And I went over. It was this bowl of just goop, and I gooped some out, and he's like, "That was the greatest cheese I've ever had." Like, it smelled like garbage.
You're just like you're a cheddar guy.
I like hard cheeses. I like that.
Well, that smoked Gouda was good.
Yeah, the smoked Gouda is great. Like hard white.
I don't like them too hard. Like Bia's used to make a charcuterie, and it was like, it was too many hard cheeses.
You know, like the hard cheeses. I like the hard cheeses.
I like the Parmesans and stuff. Yeah, they're pretty strong.
Yeah. I like cheese.
What would?
What's your favorite cheese? Like if you could only eat one cheese.
All right,
for the
speaking
rest.
of them funky cheeses,
Uh-huh.
there was one we used to get from Trader Joe's. It's called Cambozola. So it's camembert,
Okay.
but with gorgonzola. So it's a blue brie type of thing.
All right.
And we used to get that with a red wine and like a baguette. And it was really super rich. It was like a really rich butter.
Ooh.
Yeah. Watch a movie and eat a bunch of that. We got fat fast eating that stuff.
Trader,
I like
does Trader
that.
Joe's still have it?
Yeah, you still get that. Sometimes Lowe's has it, but pretty rarely. You wouldn't like it.
I probably wouldn't like it.
Nope.
I'm not a big brie fan.
No, it's a creamy, buttery kind
Chris
of.
will get a brie and put it in the oven and bake it, and then put some like jelly on top of it.
Yeah. Now this one is
Oh.
funkier. It has like a. Sometimes there's mushrooms in it. It's got that blue flavor.
Well, I didn't always like blue cheese. I can deal. I can
Oh,
deal
you
with
like
blue cheese.
Well, that's a
I can
funky
deal with
cheese,
blue.
man.
I can deal with blue.
Well, camembert is like a blue cheese, yeah.
I might
Or
have to try-
gorgonzola too.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
might
a
have to
blue.
try that.
Yeah.
Chris,
Try
yeah.
something new.
A Trader. Ooh, oh. Day of Domination.
Day of
Yeah.
Domination. I would have thought it was. See, I would have named it Days of Domination
Cheese.
because it was forever. You know, when I was in high school,
Hmm.
if we wanted to get a good beer,
Yeah.
you had to find somebody that was old enough, first of all,
Right.
to get it for you. But then you would go to like a nice deli or something that had a good beer selection.
Okay.
It was in California, so
Right,
they
yeah.
sold them there.
Deli, yeah.
And you'd get all imports. There was only one really good beer in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it was Anchor Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That was always there.
Yeah.
And that was a good beer.
Anchor is a good beer.
But, you know, as young guys, we were trying all these different things. And then when I got out of the service and the whole microbrew thing started,
Yeah.
I went to Cal State Hayward, and in Hayward it was sort of where microbrews were born. There was a guy named Buffalo Bill, who his name was
Okay.
Bill. He was actually a famous photographer.
Okay.
I can't think of his last name right now, but he opened a Buffalo Bill's Brewery, and
That rings a bell, yeah.
we got the very first pumpkin ale came from there. You can
Wow.
still buy it every year.
Yeah, right.
Buffalo Bill's pumpkin ale shows up everywhere. Yeah, and that was like the first microbrew I ever had.
What'd you think about that? What'd you think
It was
about
great.
pumpkin-
We thought it was the
pumpkin beer?
best thing ever.
Yeah.
Now this was my girlfriend at the time that I eventually married, but
Yeah.
yeah, we drank the heck out of it. Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
I think first, we didn't. Well, growing up where I grew up, we didn't have. Like it was all macros.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time I had a Coors Banquet beer.
yeah. Well, that's what whole Smoking the Bandit was about. Was about bringing Coors to the East Coast. Everybody couldn't wait till that happened.
Yeah, it boggled my mind. Like
I thought that was going to be so good. And they had that can that had they had two buttons on the top.
I didn't know that.
They had a small button you'd push in and a big button, and then you could just chug the thing.
Oh,
You'd let the air
yeah.
in. Yeah, that was a Coors.
So the shotgun beers.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And here you were waiting for the great taste of that Coors beer. Just chug it. Get
Well,
it
no,
down
this
your
was
throat
like,
as
it was
fast
like,
as
it was
possible.
Coors Light, but then like it was. So this was, I guess it'd be late. It was late '90s, and so Coors came out with the Banquet beer, and so it was like I guess it was a throwback to what they had in the '70s. Because it wasn't Coors Light. It was like a yellow can, and they still have it. It's just,
I always thought Coors was always called the banquet beer.
well, they got it's Coors Light, it's a silver bullet, and then there was
Oh, yeah.
Coors.
Coors is
Right,
the
because you have
banquet beer.
Budweiser, Bud Light, and then Miller Light.
But like the regular Coors, I think that was their like logo was a banquet beer, right?
But yes,
Right.
and it came back. Like it was a thing that went away, and it was only the silver bullet for so long, and then they brought this back.
Oh, they discontinued the regular beer when they made Coors Light. Andrew's gonna chew.
Yeah,
you
because
a
that's
new
what
one.
we're talking about.
He's gonna say you're totally wrong about this, Joe.
Yeah, but I remember having that at a field party, and like my parents watch this. They'd be like, "What?
What's a field party?
What's a field party? When were you at one of those?"
What was a field party in Pennsylvania? You went out to some field?
Yeah, literal. You went to the middle of nowhere, and there was a fire.
Yeah, we would have jungle juice parties, but it was always up in the hills.
Yeah.
There were no fields.
You call it a hill party?
A jungle juice
Just a
party.
jungle juice party. Field party, we'd go to somebody. It was usually it was always at somebody's property that we knew, and we would just go back, and it'd just be a bunch of random people, and there'd be beer and fire, never food, always music.
Yeah.
And we just hang out. But yeah, I remember Coors. I remember the first time I had a Coors banquet beer. I was like, "This is amazing."
It's like a banquet.
Because it was like, like
turkey legs,
we don't need
broccoli, and
put those chips away.
It's a whole banquet
In my mouth. Yeah, I remember that was the first time I was like, wow. And then I think the first craft beer I ever had was a Red Hook.
Oh, yeah.
Before they sold out, it was in ESB, and it was just a dark, heavy, woody. And I remember drinking it for the first time and going, "Oh."
You never had the import before that?
Not that I remember.
Really? We would try Stingo. Stingo was 12%. It was like a syrup.
What?
Yeah. Old Peculiar, my friend would drink. They still make that, you know. Samuel Smith's oatmeal stout. I was a big Moosehead guy. I loved Moosehead when it was still made in Canada.
Yeah.
That skunky.
Yeah.
It was like a IPA.
Oh,
flavor.
all the Moosehead names familiar. All those other ones, I have no idea.
Samuel Smith, you can get Samuel Smith too. Still.
After the fact, like I'm thinking, like
no,
because I didn't start drinking until college. Like all through high school, I was. I was that
When
guy.
I moved to California from New Jersey, it was all downhill. We were not just drinking; we were getting in a lot of trouble. That's how I ended up in the Marines. Man, this is like the most random rambling. What are you gonna do with this thing? You're gonna put it up on the.
I'm gonna tell everybody tomorrow that this is gonna go up on Monday, and anybody that just wants to tune in and listen, they can. Now, actually, so you all can hear. Like, when I put it up to watch, I can do a watch party, which makes it live, which means that as people are watching this, they can ask questions, and you and I can answer.
Right. But this is all a dry run. We have only got one microphone working.
We got one mic, yeah. And we're out of beer at this point.
And we're socially distanced.
We did.
We're going to switch to scotch. We're going to have at least one scotch.
6 feet.
At least 6 feet. Look.
That's
about 3 feet, right?
Right. Yeah, we're more than 6 feet.
Yeah. I like it that
way. So I did ask when I sent out the invitation to do this. I said that one of the questions I would ask, just out of curiosity, is what was your favorite cereal growing up? So I'm going to ask you that.
Oh, it would be Count Chocula.
Count Chocula?
Well, the 1970s Count Chocula. When it came out, it was like almost
Would it have
like
cocaine in it?
it had like thousands of those tiny marshmallows, and they weren't shaped like bats like they are now. They were these little pellets. And there was so many in there. You thought, I'm not getting away with this. It was like eating a candy bar, and I would like eat the whole damn box at breakfast.
Now, they only came out of Did it only come out of Halloween?
No,
or
it was
all the
out
time.
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So now it's only
They had
out of
TV
Halloween.
commercials and stuff.
I remember the commercials.
It was the 70s and maybe about 77 and 76. Earlier, maybe 75. But it would be summer, and I had 3 older brothers. And some of them liked, Cheerios, and some liked. Everybody had their own box of cereal there.
Yeah.
And somehow I got that. And then you thought that was like, oh man, that was good. You'd go outside, you'd be like on drugs. And then they made Pink Panther flakes.
What?
Yeah, they were starting, they thought, oh, the cartoon thing works.
Right.
They made these Pink Panther flakes, and they were pink, and they turned your milk pink, and there was like so much sugar on those things.
Was it like strawberry flavored?
It was pink flavored.
It was just pink flavored.
Yeah. But I love that cartoon, so I bought it.
Pink Panther's classic.
Yeah.
That's some heady, like, humor there. Like there was some slapstick there, but there's some things that just the way the Pink Panther
Yeah, and
reacted
the
to certain
anteater,
things.
the anteater and the ant was good too.
The way you had to pay attention because you'd miss these little nuances.
But prior to Count Chocula, I'd say it would be Cocoa Krispies.
Oh,
The
chocolate
whole
there.
idea of eating chocolate for breakfast. Because Lucky Charms were so oaty, you're like, where the hell are they? Give me the next
Odie?
marshmallow. Because the cereal had like no flavor.
Right. Oh
So
no,
you're,
yeah,
like,
it's
just
just
searching.
bland.
And now
Bland.
somebody came into the Four Saints one day because Malta Meal's in town.
Yep.
And they had a whole bag of just the marshmallows.
Oh yeah.
And they were eating that.
That's what they were eating? Just eating the marshmallows.
Just like a snack.
That sounds amazing.
It would have been to the 7-year-old me, but no. Nope. Now I see diabetes and hospital beds. Being on dialysis.
Yeah,
The sun is going down.
The sun is going down.
I think we're still visible.
I think we're still visible.
We're just in the shadows.
Yeah, I think
It was so beautiful here earlier, folks.
It was.
But
It was.
The microphones were not cooperating.
They weren't. But we're here now. We're doing this thing.
Want to ask any questions? Yeah,
I don't know. I know. I've got. I came ready. There's a lot here. There's no way I'm getting through, and I have no plans to get through all these. It was just like, what do I do if the conversation just stops?
Well, now you're going to know at the next one how this goes.
Yeah.
But there, it's better to have some sort of direction.
Right.
Otherwise we'll just like.
I hear you, and I disagree with you, because you don't. When you sit down at the bar at Four Saints, or you sit over at the patio at Luna, or wherever, or you're sitting around at your house or at a fire.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like, oh, these are things we must talk
If you're
about.
at a field party.
There's no talking at a field party.
You're
It's just
finished
grunting
throwing
and
up, and you want to say something to the next person.
Like, I think about because I do. I think about that because I think about the fact that, granted, I didn't go to them when I was in high school. One, because I didn't know about them because they didn't invite me because I wasn't that kid, because I didn't do any of it. I didn't drink or anything. But after the fact, like, even at 19, 20, but thinking about in high school, like I think about Estella and like, oh yeah, you're gonna go with your friends. Okay, cool. Go ahead. I'll see you at midnight. And that's it. Done.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Like, I know what I did, and I know where I was.
Yeah, it was
like,
tough.
think about it
When
now.
Bailey
Like,
became a teenager, that was tough. I wasn't worried about that stuff.
I mean, that just
It's getting pretty dark up there.
now it's getting dark. Now it's
Because big ball of light is far down between mountains.
behind them all.
Pretty soon the whippoorwill will come out. There's
Yeah,
a
the
whippoorwill right down in there.
Huh.
Last 2 years. I never knew what a whippoorwill was until I moved out here. I just knew it from the Hank Williams song. He said, "That lonesome whippoorwill." Well, they're not. They're very cheery birds.
They're not lonesome.
They're like, whippoorwill, 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 all fucking night long. Trying to get laid. Whippoorwill.
Huh. Yeah, I should have used that at the field party.
You should have used that at the field party. Bobby! Bobby! Is there a girl? Is there a girl?
Yeah, that wouldn't have helped at all.
Because you were not that kid.
I was not that kid. But I'm gonna say, because we're running out of light here, we're gonna say sayonara, whippoorwill. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you're still around at this point, if not, then well.
It was. We flew it up the flagpole. Let's see who salutes it.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Once this gets posted, how many people who said yes go. Something came up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah.
But Rich,
no pride.
Rich is a fantastic human being. If you ever get to see him in a tap room, let him have his drink, say hi. But he's
buy me a beer.
Buy him a beer. Talented, kind, keen observer, funny, He is a wonderful specimen of a human being from an intellectual standpoint, not from any others.
Wow, really? Specimen.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Look at it. I feel like a vampire right now.
Go ahead.
But
Keep saying nice things about me.
yeah. So Rich, thank you for being the guinea pig on this whole experiment. And if you choose to do this again, I'll question your sanity. So
you're welcome.
Good night, folks.